Now, we've got 1 year until a BC election, so the reason we're pushing really hard now is governments are most sensitive to public opinion. So the next year, we're going to bring the old growth campaign through the ceiling in terms of the media, in terms of grassroots mobilization. But we've got to get this boardwalk done and out of the way. So the goal is, you see, walking here is pretty muddy, and by the base of these trees, there's a lot of people walking here, and it hasn't even begun. Come July and August, you're going to get way more people. It is Cathedral Grove too, essentially what it is now. And without the boardwalk, it's going to be difficult to maintain the ecological integrity of the understory in a lot of these areas, and also visitor safety and access. So we've got to get the boardwalk done. We've got Kevin here and Ron here as well, who can also give us some expert advice on the engineering of these boardwalks. The goal is to start working on this once we get permission from the Ministry of Forests. We have to go through a few more hurdles, and then we basically work on it. TJ to be the coordinator in June, July. So
would it be a good idea to have a canopy trail here as well in the future?
Oh, easy, yeah. Yeah, that's. Yeah,
you have to think big. I mean,
sure. That's an interesting thing because so in BC, big canopy sort of walkways and whatever we've tried since 1990. It's stone walled from here to there. There's more rules, regulations, you name it. And like I said before, many countries have these systems in, and they're real revenue generators for the community.
But not like this type of forest,
hasn't happened in BC. UBC's got that piddly little. In a highly in an area that's not really controversial.
Hey, so Darren found something here. What is that?
It's the gnarliest spider in the forest. It's true. This is a very interesting spider it's a primitive one called a folding door spider. They live in a hole in the ground, and here it's so wet, these logs, they can excavate a hole in the log, and they sit there and wait for. It's like the spiders that make a folding door and they close it and then sneak out and grab something and come back in. This is small. The biggest ones here usually are over an inch long, the big females. So it is truly the gnarliest spider in this forest. So if you're interested in spiders, have a look at this small female. And make sure you guys look at the second growth forest when you leave here and compare it to here. Because elk and the bear and those things, they can't live in that stuff. It doesn't provide them food on the ground and vegetation. It's just dark and there's nothing living there. So
it's hard to walk through.
Yeah. We're actually running, because the group is so big, we weren't expecting this many people today, that's for sure. It's taken, I'm happy everyone's here, but it's taken longer to get through, just to move around. So here's what's going to happen in the next stretch. We're going to walk back to the road, and then if you can give your donation to Joan, who's right there, and ideally, if you're Canadian at least, if you can also fill out the little form that she gives you, that way we also have a base of those who are supporting us. That'd be awesome. And then we've got to just show Neville and Kevin and Ron a couple after you see the gnarly tree, can just go back home as well. So the plan is go back to the road. Any kind of donation you can give, whether it's $20 or $200 or $2,000, it'll help us just get this done.
Do you have a fundraising target?
Well, it'd be nice to raise
a budget.
Yeah, it would be nice to raise like an additional $3,000 or $4,000 more. It would certainly help us.
So what do you think the boardwalk's going to cost though?
Probably over $10,000, but we don't know until we get the entire all the.
Does the trail go down? So around 10,000.
Yeah, the trail won't. We actually don't want the trail to go down to the river. It's going to stay on the upper side because the river's more sensitive area.
So the Sitka spruce
Sitka spruce are more down there in the ravine.
Updated and whatever else.
Just make one more little announcement here. So while we're all together, we also have a website, of course. Many of you may have found out about that this hike through there, ancientforestalliance.org. Our petition site is ancientforestpetition.com. You can sign, circulate that, print the petitions out, get signatures on there. I'll be taking pictures throughout the trip today. I'll make a little photo gallery on Facebook. If there's, I guess there's possibly a way to gather everyone's.
We need your help.
July now, but yeah, people with good with experience with carpentry, just basic things, putting things together, then for sure shoot us an email and we'll be
into that.
And a lot of it will simply be moving the boardwalk materials to different sections. Yeah. So if you even if you're not have it carpentry experience, you can still move stuff.
Are you going to build a boardwalk where people can put in their own treads, like the one into Hot Springs?
Put in their own?
Well, you've been on the
Name the
boardwalk
tread.
to Hot Springs?
No, I haven't.
Up Island? Well, if you go up there, you'll find that you walk about half a mile on the boardwalk, and they're all standard-sized cedar planks, and people rip off planks and they bring in replacements with their names and things on them.
Oh,
that they've
their names,
carved in
really?
them. And so it's more interesting actually looking at the boardwalk than.
Sell a plank to raise money.
Yeah.
Carmana was-
Yeah, it's
How about the local Indian band, the First Nation? How involved are they? How interested are they into this thing?
Yeah, the Pacheedat,
Pacheedat, yeah.
they have had concerns about logging in relation to the culturally modified trees. So throughout this area, especially at the lower elevations, you're going to have trees that have been stripped for bark or test holes in them. But in terms of whether they're in favor or against old growth logging in the area, they haven't come out either way. So essentially, they haven't weighed in on this whole issue, but they haven't opposed it. They haven't been in favor of it necessarily. They've just done their own thing. But we've had conversations with them. We've requested meetings, and this looks like they have other things going on in their reserve right now.
So very common in the forests here. And I really
Okay,
am
so
looking
we should get moving.
for,
Make sure you talk to Joan on your way out, and then you can follow us up to the gnarliest tree if you want to come.
I'm gonna be with Juan if he's on.